All right, so I want you to turn to your partner. Well, never mind. We got to do plan book first. Plan book, plan book, plan book. I'm trying to start class too quick. Now hold up, because here's the difference between what I had planned and what's actually... yes, I agree. I don't know what's going on. Right? I don't know. All right, so check it. Because of... Now, hold on. Don't write things down yet. Because of map, things are shifting a little bit. And because of gravity, my camera's literally moving.
Yay, gravity.
All right, here's what's actually going to happen. We're going to write it in pen. Here's what is your homework. That doesn't necessarily mean that, like, we keep on this. Your homework for today is 431. Homework for tomorrow will be 432, but then there's no math.
Can you go to my locker?
Why, no plan book? Go fast then. We need our plan book. There's no math on Wednesday because we're taking the math map test. Look, I have no say in this. We just have to do it, and then we move on with life. Sorry. So then 433. And then just no homework. Because that's as fast as we need to go. So these three homeworks are all three homeworks for the week. So what you need to check right now is, do you have all three of those, including the one that is stapled? If you don't have 432, you need to come get it up here. 431 and 433 are back there. So if you just got here, you probably don't have this one because I was still stapling them. So my plan shifted, but this is what's actually going to happen.
Can you go?
So 4-3, and I'll get it on that board over there, guys. I'm just going to shift my board over there a little bit so that we have what's getting turned in on Friday. All right, and this is recorded, so you can always go back into my YouTube later. 431, 432, no math class, so no homework. 433, and no new homework. So remember, you always have 2 days. So this won't be due this week, because that wouldn't be fair. These will be due this week. And when is homework always due, Addie? You tell me. Friday. So when they're actually due is always Friday. And it's only the homeworks that are 2 days old.
Can I borrow some pencil?
7. Wow, Hudson, way to throw. All right, so on your graph paper, I want you and your teammate to figure out what is the constant of proportionality, that fancy word from Friday, for our runner, Jamie. So if Jamie can run 9.3 miles in 1.5 hours, what do you think that means for the constant of proportionality? Turn to your neighbors, see what you might do to make this easier to talk about. When you get your plan book out, you just copy it, or you can copy your plan book later on that board. Let's just go ahead and do this right now on graph paper. So do this later, right? We will do your plan book, but we'll do it later because we don't want to get delayed in class.
Did you figure all that out, or you need all that stuff out?
And guys, you can clip things in your math binder if you want. You are welcome to always have your math binder out. Some of us put your stuff. We need graph paper out. We need 431. Interesting. Thank you. That was because I checked my mail and then it fell. So then I just grabbed it and shoved it in my back pocket. All right, last time I'm checking this before we move on with class. You should have in your possession, probably in your binder now for most of these, 431, 432, 433. 432 is stapled because the whole front page is examples from class. 431 you still need out, but you don't need the other ones out. You can put these in your binder or just put them under this paper. You can keep them all out for now if you want. It will not hurt you. And you need graph paper out 100%. Definitely you need graph paper today. You also need something, colored pencils or markers or something to color with. We're going to need some blue, some purple, some green, some red. We can share it with each other. Totally fine to share with each other. So for a runner, let's just go ahead and bring this together so we can all kind of get on the same page. Do runners normally talk about their speed and how far they can go in an hour, in an hour and a half?
No.
So who wants to volunteer to tell me what would make more sense? Gabe, what do you think? What do we normally talk about our speed? How do we normally say someone's speed? Like if Mr. Smith was going to talk about like somebody running in gym class. Jana?
90 minutes.
So that would be 90 minutes, but is that normally how you talk about speed? Like per 90 minutes?
Miles per hour.
I can't tell who said that because there was no hand attached to that voice. So, okay,
Miles per
June,
hour.
Thank you, June. We're normally used to saying miles per hour. Guys, go ahead and put MPH on your paper. Miles per hour. Guys, just say whatever you need to say because now I'm just distracted.
Is this on?
Oh, you just got in here. Like, we're going to check homework later in the week
Is this on
just
our
because we have a
paper?
lot to do today. So 424 is going to be due Friday. Guys, I just need time to reset my whiteboard. Just give me this morning. Like, if you come in later, I'll have my whiteboard reset. But here's what's going to happen. Addie, quit looking stressed. You're not allowed to be stressed right now. It's Monday morning. Nothing's due. My whiteboard's going to change, and the final square is going to tell you exactly what's due on Friday. Okay, but what that means is I need to shift the whole calendar over. I need a little bit of time. Because I'm going to actually, like, spray it and clean it and, like, make it nice again. Okay, so like, sorry that's not up here, but we got a lesson to do today. We'll check homework, we'll recenter tomorrow, whatever. Today we're just trying to finish up a couple problems from Friday, and then do 431, which is really just a bunch of drawing. Drawing and coloring. So if we want to get to the drawing and coloring part, we just got to do a tiny bit of math. Mario? When is anything ever due?
Friday.
Friday. The next time homework is due is Friday. I know, but the next time homework is due is Friday. Okay, I'm trying to simplify things. Homework's only ever collected on Fridays. It's also to simplify things for me, if I'm being honest. So give me till lunch. I will tell you exactly what's due on Friday. It's the stuff from last week we haven't turned in, and the new stuff from this week, the 3132. Right? Because those are the only ones that'll be old enough when we look at our plan book. They'll be old enough come Friday, because if they're 2 days old, it's due. Remember? Does that make sense? So runners normally talk in miles per how many hours?
1.
1. Just like if I say June, I mean 1 June, or Lily, I mean 1 Lily. You don't have to say that. It's awkward to say good morning, 1 Raphael. You just look at me weird. Right? So if I just say good morning, Raphael, it's assuming 1. So this 1.5 hours, guys, on your paper, let's write down 9.3 miles over 1.5, because miles per hour, guys, per tells us divide. Per tells us divide. So I could either think through the work of how do I get this over 1, or literally I could just do the division in my calculator, grab a calculator, do 9.3 divided by 1.5. Yeah, there should be at least 1 at every table because I made sure this morning. So that gives us 6.2 miles in 1 hour. When you do the division, you will get your answer. And we could actually just write this, MPH, if you want, for miles per hour. So that 6.2 is what we call the constant of proportionality from last week. So watch, we can say the distance the runner will travel, the distance we will go, is going to be 6.2 times what? What would we multiply by? By the hours, or we could really say time, right? Time in hours. So if you want to write this out with a little bit more details, you could say distance. You with me, friends? Because I've written more than you have, but yet some of us aren't writing. And if you don't write this down and it's not there for you to reference when we take a quiz, we take our next mastery, which very well might be this Friday. Right? Yeah.
Guys.
Hey, look, this is me announcing 5 days ahead. We will probably have a mastery either this Friday or definitely next week. Addie, why does that stress you?
You get to use your notes, Addie, majority of the time.
You're right. Is the quiz today? No. Is the quiz going to be over brand new stuff that we just did like the day before? No. Are you going to be allowed to use your notes? Most likely, since we've had our notes for every single assessment I've given you. Have you ever not gotten an assessment to mastery from me? So I'm going to keep bothering you until you look less stressed. Do the masteries ever hurt you physically? Okay, well that I can't necessarily fix. Physically, like it broke your arm, it cut you. You got a paper cut. I'm so very sorry. Maybe we need to moisturize a bit more. I know, maybe we should use some more lotion or something. Maybe you need to moisturize. Quit stressing about being asked to show what you are able to do. You are extremely able to do this. Maddie, what did you get on the last assessment? Yeah, now I'm calling you out. What did you get on the last assessment? No. Yeah, Addie, what did you get on the last assessment? Mastery. The first time? The first time, right? So why are you stressing? There's no reason.
Also, you can
This is
redo
brand
it
new as
as
a
many
Friday,
times as
Addie.
you want.
This is brand new as a Friday. Do I expect you to have it mastered right now? No, but maybe by this Friday. Distance equals 6.2 times time. Homework's confusing on purpose. That's okay. It's okay. You have to let yourself get over this, and I will keep bothering you till you do. It is okay for stuff to be confusing. Guys, not only was my project that I was doing this weekend confusing, but then I stabbed myself with a nail by accident. Stuff happens. Yeah, because I left a nail sticking out of a board, and then I tried to smack the board, and the nail went straight into my finger. Felt great. Sometimes life is a little stressful. That's okay. Try this. If we need 2 2/3 cups of flour for 2 recipes, what would we need for 1 recipe? Or batch, right? Recipe and batch are kind of the same word. Talk to your partner. If you need 2 2/3 for 2 batches, talk to your partner. How can we figure out what we need for each batch? 2 2/3 for 1. What do we need for each?
Not necessarily. So it's saying the recipe calls for 2 2/3 cups of flour to make 2 regular batches. So we want to figure out how much it is just for 1. So we kind of similar to what we did here. In order to figure out how much it is for 1.
Guys, funny thing I start to do as we get deeper in the year is questions that we did in class are legit the exact same questions I put on the test. So if you choose not to write these down in your notes, like whatever, that's up to you. I can't really make you do anything. But when you come to me and you say, like, I can't find it in my notes, I'm just going to shrug and say, like, tough. And if you did this so quickly that you had time to doodle or work on your homework, like, that's fine. I don't actually care. Like, that doesn't bother me. Because if you did what you're supposed to do, that's what matters. So 2 2/3 cups. Crap, not over 1. Was somebody going to call me out on that?
I was.
Oh, by the way, I got new candy. I re-upped my candy.
You
So if you guys stay alert and catch me, is it ES or just S?
Yeah.
Yes, it is ES.
It's a yes, Mr. Hudson. That's up the H, by the way.
Whoa, friend. Give me a little bit of time. All right, how could we... Wendy's not here, I don't think. Christian, how could we figure out for one batch?
You could divide the cups by 2.
Yeah, do the division. Now, guys, I can do this manually and break this up. Break up the whole number and the fraction number. What's 2 divided by 2? 1. What's 2/3 divided by 2? 1. So we get 1 1/3 cups of flour, right, is what they're talking about here. But, so that's per batch. So, guys, how we could write this as an equation is the cups we will need, right? Because what we're talking about is how many cups we need, or the flour. I guess you could say F equals for flour equals. But the cups we will need, Christian?
Equals the batch.
Well, what? Because it's not just equal to each other. There's a number involved.
1 batch.
It's not. That's not the only number involved. What is the cups? How many cups did we need?
Oh, 1/3.
Not just 1/3. 1 1/3. And guys, I'm going to go ahead and put that in parentheses because it's a mixed number. 1 1/3 for every what? Batch. So that's going to be times the batches. And guys, every single situation we've done, the graph would look the same. Anyone able to tell me what that graph... I'll even make this worth a dum-dum. Anyone able to tell me what the graph of any of these would look like? Addie? A vertical line. Diagonal line. Diagonal line going up. I agree. Where would it start? Every single one of these situations would be a diagonal line starting at the 0, 0 point. Every single one. I would put this in your notes if I was you. That means they are proportional. Because every problem we've been doing is a proportional problem. And the trick is, or like the how the graphs would maybe, I guess we could say, look different, is this will always be when x equals 1. This will always be when x equals 1, but the y value there is whatever that constant of proportionality is. So if you want to make a note in here, always you'll have 1 for your x, and the y is the constant of proportionality. So in this situation, it would be 1 1/3. In this situation, it'd be 1 1/3. Because that's how many cups we need for one batch. Questions on the graph being a diagonal line coming from the origin. Sweet. From your coffee can, which yes, I have drank all of this coffee over a long amount of time. We need to get out 1 of every type of tile. Just 1 of every type of tile. It's about to smell awesome in here. For each, well, I guess you could share, but I would say for each person if I was you.
How many different types are there?
I will put them up on the screen. So, bottom. There's blue, there's light blues, dark blues, purple, green, and I think I'm actually missing a couple. I need to steal some from you guys. I think I need a purple square. I'm going to steal a purple square. Depends if you like coffee or not, right?
Coffee tastes like coffee.
I like
And actually, because kids have complained in the past, if you want to do this on just blank, like computer paper, I will bring a piece around. Here, if you want to do this on blank paper, this might be easier on blank paper instead of on graph paper. Graph paper might not help. Blank paper is probably actually easier. Please refrain from putting these in your mouth. That would not be sanitary. I know sometimes I'll put my pencil in my mouth while I'm just trying to hold it somewhere. Please don't put algebra tiles in your mouth.
then you're good.
Yeah, even though they smell like coffee. Yeah, fight that urge. All right, here's what you need to do in the next few minutes. At the top of your paper that we just handed out, in whatever color you want, as fancy as you want, but you can't take forever to do this. So, like, you can make it fancy as long as you can do it quickly. Hey, be careful. You might want to do this on top of some graph paper so it doesn't bleed through. But you want to label this paper Algebra Tiles. And then what you want to do is trace every single tile that you have. And if they look like they relate to each other, cough, cough, same color, I'd maybe trace those near each other. Like, you know, maybe make your paper kind of look like this. I need my camera to stop letting itself drop.
I think your camera needs to not obey the laws of physics.
I might steal Miss Hassane's camera since mine has been used so much. Might just take hers.
I don't think Miss Hassane cares anymore.
I mean, I steal her camera like once a week.
You didn't even notice.
She just wouldn't know.
Alright, we'll see if that...
Like you got the button.
So, I don't know why I see some people doing nothing. You got like 5 algebra tiles to get on your paper. Like, guys, we're tracing them. We're not just setting them on our paper. We are tracing them and coloring them.
How often do you do
Every morning. I mean, not a whole lot, but yeah. Alright, that's definitely tightened up now.
Oh my god.
Can I do this on graph paper?
I mean, you could, but you'll quickly notice that it's actually kind of annoying on graph paper because they don't line up with the graph paper. So, yeah, it would kind of annoy you if you did that. And then, guys, we can start to label things. The little bitty square that we have, that's kind of the toughest to trace because it's hard to hold it still.
Yes, it is.
Anyone have any idea of what you think that little square like is meant to represent?
One tile.
1. Yeah, it is 1 by 1. So we could go ahead and label that it's 1 by 1. So you could put a 1 on each edge. And actually, what does that mean its area is? If it's 1 by 1, it's an area of 1. So we're going to call that our 1 tile. So if you want to write its name there, our 1. No, wait, what do you think the other navy blue tile is? So, Raphael, I know you're an artist, and I know you got some mad skills with drawing, but you don't need these to look as nice as your drawings. Okay, you don't need these to look as nice as your drawings. Yes, you are, dude. Don't lie. Come on, man. I thought you respected me more than to lie to me.
You know that one time when you showed Patrick and like all the other things?
Corrupted Patrick.
Yeah, corrupted.
He messed up my childhood for the rest of my life. I looked away.
But then he looked back.
How did you mess up your entire? How did I corrupt your entire?
Because somebody was forcing me to look.
So wait, this other navy blue tile, anyone got any guesses of what we could call this guy? It's a 5 tile, right? So guys, you could show kind of like dotted lines across for where it split. Or if you showed the dimples, like as you drew it, you probably had these little dimples. It's really just 5 1 tiles connected to each other. So we could label it's 5 by 1. It's 5 by 1. So really its area is 5. It's what we can call the 5 tile.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
It gets easier as they get bigger, dude. Don't worry. This pen is a goner.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You got a good life. Bye. Wow.
All right, so now we get into some slightly more complicated. The next size up would be the light blue, right? If I'm going by size. If I try to line this light blue up against a certain number of 1 tiles, can I count how big the light blue is?
Yes. Wait. No.
Like, does it line up nicely? So we can't actually use fractions because I can't break this up nice enough to use fractions. So guys, hold up, pause, listen. The light blue tile is not 3.5 long. It's not 3 and anything long. It's actually X long. This is what we're going to call our X tile. So guys, your light blue rectangle. Now, we do know how tall it is, though. If we line up our dark blue tile with the light blue tile, we can see it does have an edge that is 1, but then we're going to call the longer edge X, and we nicknamed this the X tile. And you can color that in light blue if you want. So what about the next light blue one? Anyone got an idea of what this is?
It's a X by X.
And what would X by X then be?
A X times X.
What sort of shape is this?
A square.
So this is what we call our X squared tile. And guys, these 4 tiles are all that really matter. The other ones are extra right now, so keep going if you can. But this is what we call our X squared. Or guys, you could write that way easier by using the exponent X squared tile. You might as well go ahead and trace X on there so that you have it the right size, so you know the difference between them. But then Moss brought up a very good point. The next color that we see, those purples, can we measure how long purple is? No, not accurately. So Moss, what'd you say we could call the purple tile? Y. And then the purple square could be y squared. I'm going to actually kind of section off my paper here. Y. So again, it's y by 1. We call that our y tile. And then our y squared. It's okay if you don't end up getting all of these tiles, as long as we have the x and the x squared. Those are the really important ones. And then who can figure out how big the green tile is? And some of us maybe didn't even find green, but Raphael, what do you think about green tile?
The green tile is X by Y.
How'd you figure that out?
Because I take both of these and put this is the Y by 1 tile. I put X, hey, same size. Now I take the X by 1 tile and put next to it. Hey, same size.
Guys, look at what Raphael figured out. If you put the other tiles against the green tile, we can figure out that green has an X side and a Y side. So Raphael called this the what tile?
The X by Y.
Yeah, the XY tile.
Yay.
Really good job, Raphael.
Do I get a cinnamon roll for that?
A cinnamon, who's got cinnamon rolls? Oh, the fireballs. Maybe. That was a really good observation.
Yay.
The XY tile. So we've got a 1 tile, a 5 tile, an X tile, an X squared, a Y squared, and a Y. Now guys, here's the concern if I leave them like this. According to the textbook, and really the world, if I leave it empty, if I leave it just like white on the inside, that's a negative. So we need to shade these in. You need to color these in. So like my X tile, I need to shade in, or I just draw some lines across it to show that it's been shaded. Right? So you guys can use colored pencils or highlighters. We need to shade these in. If it's empty, it's negative. So if you want to make a little note, now how I like to draw those, like on my paper, is using red. So I'm going to make a little note that if it's empty, it's negative. But guys, notice that if I flip the tile, every actual tile has a red side. We'll use red for negative. But the book, because the book isn't printed in color, the book, instead of using red, uses empty. So we're going to say red / empty. That means negative. Right? Red / empty is negative. So when we're using the tiles, we'll use red for negative. So this would actually be negative, or the opposite of whatever X is. Right? That tile would actually be the negative, or the opposite. Questions? So real quick, let's pop over to our paper so we've got a little bit of work done. Hey, look, I'm going to help you with your practice work. Look at 431 real quick, even though this is your practice. If we are being asked to find perimeter, we should probably label some things. What's the edge of the x squared tile? Well, if I don't remember, refer back into your notes. What's the edge of the x squared tile? X. So guys, on your homework, we should label this edge is x. This edge is x. This edge is x. This edge is x. This edge is... Uh-oh. The end of the x tiles. The ends. The short lengths of the x tiles. Gabe, what did you just say? These are ones, right? Because we said in our notes, the ends of the x tiles are ones. So guys, I would label these 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Ooh, and that final side over there is an X. With that, I want to make sure we got time to clip everything back in our binders where it goes. So we should not be shoving papers in pockets. Guys, I would keep this paper with your homework page. Like, I would put these away together. I would use this with your homework.
Can we just leave our colored pencils out for the next person?
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
That's nice.
That works.
No, I just don't
As long as they're not like yours, right?
No, they're
Like
not.
as long as they're aligned. I would keep this with your homework. Clip your papers in your binder, and then it is time to go. Have a wonderful day, friends. Yes. I was actually really disappointed they had to cancel the Holodrag show this weekend. I don't know if you guys heard about that. But yeah, a little bit of like current events in Columbus. Yeah, they ended up, because there was going to be a protest and safety was coming into question, so they canceled it for safety's sake. So that was actually pretty
Where
disappointing.
was it gonna be at, Mr. Hudson?
Some school, I think,
Oh,
like Red Oak.
yeah.
I think it was Red Oak Community.
Okay, I remember seeing something about that.
So,
Yeah,
them
that's-
Proud Boys.
That makes me sad. They need to cancel that. I didn't see anything about them canceling it, but I
Oh, it
saw
was
it
all
was a
over. I'm
controversy.
going to pause this.